I hope it's not saying no.
So I get today for the second edition of on the day podcast regarding the challenge facing Nigeria. As we promise, we went through the different scenarios of what is happening in Africa, what's happening global, and most especially what's happening within the nation and the states of the country we are hosting. Today with me is also what is insecurity according to your understanding?
Okay. Insecurity. By me, insecurity is the state of unrest at which people don't have complete or total control of what's happening in their locality or in every aspect of their life that causes and harm and causes danger to their total well-being.
Okay, according to the Jennifer, insecurity is unrest that cause a bit of danger to their life. So the question is, how did insecurity affect food security?
Okay, thank you, sir. For by definition of what food security is, if you permit me to start from there. So food security is when everyone in a nation at any given time, at every given time, has access to proper, nutritious food for themselves and also their family. So food insecurity now is when there is no enough access of food, not only food but good food, qualitative food. Because recently there was a Cameroon newscaster that was saying that Nigeria, before we had this kind of rice that we normally use to feed animals, we don't eat it like locally produced. But now, as of now, any kind of rice Nigerians are eating, and this kind of rice is not all that are nutritious. It's not all that have nutritional benefits for humans per se. But we are now eating it. Why? Because of insecurity and because of food insecurity. So food insecurity generally is a problem that has been facing us as one of the most populous country in the world. Nigeria is one of the most populous country in the world, and over 60% of the population of Nigeria are facing hunger, are facing food insecurity. They don't have adequate food. They don't have enough food. Who is even talking about 3 square meal nowadays? Is what you see you eat. You don't even have choice of saying, oh, I want to eat this, I don't want to eat this, I want to cut this. If you said you don't want to eat carbs, you don't have supplements, you don't have money to buy other supplements to eat. If you said, okay, you want your children not to, your children are having health challenges, so you need to cut down on certain food and fix their diet. Do we have that access? Do we have that opportunity to be able to feed our children the proper diet? This is a question that we need to ask ourselves, because Nigerians, we are hungry, and they said a hungry man is an angry man. So insecurity has a lot of role to play with our food security. Because in fact, if you are hungry, as one of the reasons that we've established hunger, like poverty also causes insecurity. The same thing, hunger causes insecurity. If you don't have food to eat, and this person is saying, I'll give you 1 million naira so that you'll be able to buy food for your family, so you should not do this and this, or you feel like and the way kidnappers are rampant now, they are kidnapping to what? To get money, to buy food for their family.
Hmm. Okay, thank you very much. There are some key aspects I grab out. You say access to food. When you say access to food, means everyone, each and every individual have access to the same food, right? So there is an equilibrium in terms of access to food. And you know that every country is classified into three. We have the rich, we have the average, we have the poor. So which means each and every category should have access to food. And then you say nutritious. When you say nutritious, mean a food that is well equipped. So we can now understand that each and every category should have access to nutrition food. And then you mentioned that 60% of Nigeria are hungry. Can you explain how? When you say it's 60% of the country is hungry, so you are classifying almost all the countries hungry. So and then you see that everybody is hungry. With you?
That's a good one, Sarah.
Okay.
I am also hungry in the sense that if there's a statistic that shows 2025 years that it has been estimated that over 4 million of Nigerians are internally displaced. So that's 4 million of people that don't have where to stay. And you see, in that case, if you don't have where to stay, feeding, access to food to them is very, very limited. I'm coming back to the classes, the different classes, different strata of our economy, where we have the rich, the middle, and the thing is that currently the rate at which people are going down from middle class to low class is much more than the rate that people are going from middle class to the top class. So you see, and with that statistics that shown that 60% of Nigeria are into hunger. So what it means there is not like they don't have food to eat. As we rightly said, nutritious food. Because now if you look, let's take the rice for example. If you look at the rice, there are different kinds of rice, and there are different quality, different nutritional values of the rice. How many percentage of people are buying the one with high nutritional value? So that's also that means the food that we are buying is not even nutritious enough to feed us. And it's also part of food insecurity, because if you are eating food and the food is not nutritious enough for you, that's also that it poses a threat to you also as a person, because this food is supposed to give you so number of calories, but it's giving you less, and keep on eating it, and most times it even endanger your whole person as a being. And okay, if you even go to the markets, to people selling food, they normally say it's not their fault, because the cost of transportation is high due to several other factors that is happening. And me, I would say I'm hungry, because currently I'm hungry. I'm supposed to wake up in the morning, take hot tea, have egg. How much is a crate of egg, for crying out loud now? Have egg, fried plantain or fried Irish potato, and eat. That's just basically a few years ago. You can fry like, let's say, 4 eggs and eat at once. But now, because of the economy situation, everything is high. Everything, the rate of our economic rate, everything, the rate of inflation is getting more and more. It's affecting the amount, the amount, in fact, the amount of food. It's affecting, because most times some people will be like, okay, see, hunger is something that it's not hidden. You cannot say, I'm not going to eat today, I'll wait till tomorrow. You cannot say, okay, I'm having patience, as in I'll be patient enough to wait till after 2 weeks, yes, to keep on fasting. My blood level will go down. my PCV will go down. I will be anemic. I cannot work. I cannot function properly. I cannot work properly. And I was talking to someone recently, and he said that the rate at which food prices are increasing by, it's just like you will work for a whole month and then you use the whole salary and buy food. Because that is exactly how it is. But you cannot do that. Why? Because you have other things. There is health issue, there is family, you will have other things that you need to settle. It's not just for food that you are working. But the rate at which it is now, it seems like the only thing you are supposed to be healthy is to just use your salary, 1 month salary, and buy your 1 month food. Because even the money, the percentage you are using to buy food is still not enough.
So thank you so much. You observe that according to what she said, the percentage, the rate at which the food is like going up is amazing. When you look at the poor, the rice is like 1,000, but not like 5,000. That's almost 500% increase. And then when you look at the salary does not increase. The salary just remains. In fact, people are fighting the government every day, strike and other things for the government to be able to increase the wage of the people. And when you look at the issue that is happening, according to her, when you get sick, the family have to rational reduce the quantity of the consumption in order to pay for the medical for that particular person. And this situation that Nigeria is in it because of the inflation, because of the insecurity. And then the question is this, Ms. Jennifer, what caused this inflation rise? Is it the government or the people?
Okay. So I recently was going through news and saw where they are asking Minister of Humanitarian and stuff like that. And the reason he gave was natural disaster.
Do you have it in Nigeria?
Yes, they claim we have natural disaster. We have flooding as of last, I think, 2 years, and they drew it back to 2020, COVID-19. They say since from COVID-19, that's where our food security started deteriorating. They made it like a general focus by putting also at behind and saying, oh yeah, we have insecurity and stuff. But in the statistics that was taken, was shown that Benue, which is the food basket of the nation, has been attacked severally. Most people have lost their source of income, which is what? Farming. Nigeria has lots of lands, lots of places. We have fertile soil. But the fact is, insecurity itself poses threats to the livelihood of farmers. I cannot go to where they will kill me. If I know that I will die, I prefer to change vocation, go and learn another thing. And so also, due to that, the rate of food production in our country has drastically reduced. And if we look at the facts of saying, they've been saying, reading different agenda, different governments will come and tell you that we'll make Nigerians to come out from being a economic. Is it monopolic economic? Where we depend solely on one monopolic economy, where we depend solely on what's it called? On the crude oil we are having, but rather we just diversify into agriculture. It has been said since when I was in secondary school, we've been hearing that, we've been working hard. People have been working, there have been several agendas, several initiation of agriculture, how to increase, several funds to. But then, all those times, we were trying to push. Nigeria has been trying to push it. But when this insecurity came, it makes everything like down back to square one. Because mostly people that are farmers, they don't stay in urban areas. They stay in rural areas where they have access to their farms and stuff like that. And we are not protecting them because most of these rural places are far from the urban cities.
Yeah.
And you find out that most of our security men are mainly settled in urban areas. So before they would inform people, if get alert of what is happening, what would have happened have already happened. People are being killed. In last year and last 2 years, we get numerous of people have been sent away from their home. They are internally displaced. Their farms are uncultivated. Lots of this insecurity has poses threats to even the production, even the agriculture. So most times when the governments are like they are infusing money to this aspect, infusing money to farmer funds, this and this. What the challenge that has been there and it's always been there is the issue of this kidnapping and banditry, insecurity, farmer herders conflicts. This is posing a threat to our agricultural production. And if it is not being treated like drastically, we'll continue to go hungry.
Okay, thank you for that. You see that insecurity is posing a threat to agricultural production. But when we look at statistics, if Nigeria is 100%, the rate of farming in Nigeria is not up to 20%. Almost 80% depend on other things. And then we have a lot of places where, like, during the past administrative, they encourage people to go back to farm initiative. And for that space, nobody is going to farm. Everybody just depend on their importation of food and other things. So now, in the population whereby almost more than 80% are not dependent on farm. So only 20% depend on farm. You do mean like those people are the one feeding the 80%? So how? And now we are important as usual as we are before the previous administration. So we are importing food, we are doing this, we are doing that. So how this food is going up when we know that almost 80% are not the farmers, they are doing other things?
Okay, so as you rightly said, that 80% of Nigerians are not into farming.
Yeah.
20% are into. And just look at it. Even in that 20%, how many percent do we know now that have been chased off their farms? How many percent do we know of that have been killed because of the insecurity? How many? So even in that 20%, it's still reducing. No, it's still reducing. And to me, but previously when the previous administration stopped the importation of food that we generally can develop in our country, lots of issue arises. Lots of people actually went back into farming. Most people invest into farming. If I cannot go back to rural area, I invest in farming. I get people that have that ability to farm, and then I push my funds into that so that we increase the productivity. But in a situation where if that's not even possible, because you don't know if you start farming, what will happen? People will come and raid your farm and stuff like that. And 80% of us that don't depend are now, okay, just look at it. Before importation, before the borders were opened for importation of food, food prices were already high.
Yeah.
And now that it has been opened, food prices are getting high. Before it was closed, it was said that the food prices escalated simply because they closed border. Border has been closed, has been open now. Still, food prices is getting. So that's to tell us that it's not the, let's say, the amount of food, it's not the food itself that can determine if it gets low or it gets high, or there are a lot, several other factors that affect the availability of food. Most people actually, when they go into this food stuff, grains investments, they prefer to hide, or let's say store food and wait till
Increase.
it increases before they bring it out. And the government, the minister also said something about food reserve, that naturally Nigeria has food reserve, but now the food reserves are running low. And us as a country, we are depending on foreign aid. They also made mention that foreign aid, that's especially US aid, that cut off some of their cut off most of their funding to Nigeria, that is also affecting us. So Newcastle was asking, then why are we depending solely on foreign aid? Does it mean that all them as an administration they cannot feed the people? That means they cannot feed it. There's no places to implement, rather than going and sourcing for help, going and sourcing for various aid. And our population is not decreasing, no, it's increasing. And the way the population is increasing, that's the same way the population of internally displaced persons are also increasing. The previous administration, I think the late President Buhari was the chairman in the in the commission that they found on food and hunger prevention. So they were trying their best. That is why his agenda was focused mainly on going back to farm, going back to farm, going back to. And when people started going back to farm, insecurity came. People now are going out of farm because why? You don't want to go to farm where you be killed.
Thank you very much. We are seeing that a lot of issue has been saying. So the government is trying their best for them to restore the food security. And now the question in Nigeria, when something go to come down, it will become a very big problem. Before border was closed. When border was closed, the food is going up, the price is going up. But now the border was open and the food price is still going up. The question is, who is the problem? Is it the government or the individual? So we have seen a lot of ways that people we are not protected. So we go to farm. A lot of farmer has been killed. A lot of people have been, a lot of clashes, a lot of threats from the farmer. And the problem is this: when you have a country that doesn't care for their citizens, in fact, as we are saying now, Nigeria government don't know the population of Nigeria. It's just by assumption, prediction. The census last time is 2006, and now we are now 2026. This is 20 years. 20 years. That's the last census Nigeria did. The question is that when we ask the population census, NBS, what's the population of Nigeria? It's just by prediction, modeling. You don't know how much is this population. If you don't know the number of population, you cannot model the outcome. And also, these people in the village, nobody is giving them security. I went to a village where they don't have any issue with government. They don't have light, no education, no electricity, nothing. They are just living there. In fact, the only thing that attach them with government is election. They just take the ballot paper, go and vote. After voting, give them spaghetti, vote and go. Then they say the only time they used to see the government is during the election. So which means even the government is aware of them, but they don't care about them. The only thing that they care about is their vote. So when we have a population that does not secure, the first thing you secure in a country is the forest. And this is where we have the problem. When you secure the forest, everywhere the threat will come, it will come through the forest. the look that the country is having. When you don't secure the forest, you don't secure the village. So the town, for you to get something moved into the village, into the town is very difficult. But for you to get something moved into the village, when there is a threat, it's very easy. But when you have a government who does not care about the population, who doesn't know the number of population they have, who does not care about the village, so this is where we find ourselves. As she said, we are a lot of people. A lot of people have been driving out of their home because of insecurity. They have killed a lot of people. They have killed a lot of people. You've been walking in the street and you'll be seeing people walking. That is not a walking, it's a dead live people that are already dead on themselves. They have nowhere to go. They don't know where to go. They don't know where they want to go. They don't even know the meal that they are having today. But the question is it the government the problem or the individual? So now we have seen how food insecurity have came about. So we have two parts. The first part is the government responsibility to provide the security to the citizen. The second part is what we call regulation. So now, thank you. We have still have nutrition food. Even in Nigeria government now, a lot of people are not eating nutrition food. I talk about displacement, how people were displaced. So the question now we have is, what is the way out? Because all this problem we have displacement problem, we have food challenge problem. Anybody you want to advise now in Nigeria, if he doesn't give him food, there's no advice. Hungry man and angry man. For someone who is working every day, he cannot even three square meal. Every day is working in his life. But he cannot even in fact, as she said, it's like packing all your money, go and buy the food. But now the question is, even the money you have, even though if you pack it, buy the food, it's not even enough for you to consume money. So there's a lot of challenges that we have. But let me ask my guests. We have displaced people. When you look at Nigerian problem, there are many. When you come to food security, there are many. So we look at the government side, that is security. We look at individual side. Now we have a monopoly. Even in terms of government, we have a monopoly. That people can easily increase the price of this without even government arrest. So the question is, what is the solution to this problem?
Thank you, sir. I have a few points I'll make on the solution, but I just want to say something. When they were asking that what is the way your administration was saying something about they have been provided various settlements for people that are internally displaced that cannot go back to their place of origin. They have been settlements, and they were asking, provide proof, provide number, but there wasn't any number. There wasn't any number, and that's
on paper.
exactly. And that same before this administration from that same department that deals on humanitarian and development and stuff. That same department, I think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu actually sanctioned the minister that was in charge previously because of there was an allegation of corruption. There was money, there were funds being sent, and there is nothing. So what the present administration was saying is that they are going to start making it access because previously they will bring money, they will bring food for people, but then there is no paper trail. There is no way to know if actually they've gotten it or they've not. That's why it was easier for politicians, for officials also to squander or to divert.
Manipulative.
Exactly. Exactly. So now he's saying by the use of NIN that everybody now must have NIN. Even internally displaced, they must be registered as members of as citizens of the country. So that anything that they want to present, it will be easily tracked. Then they'll bring out bank statements and say, no, this so and so actually benefited from this. So and so actually benefited from this. So me, I'm not against that initiative. One of the ways that me I feel like the government will really have to work on to help us is, as you've rightly said, protection of our farmland. We really need protection. So it's not only about okay initiative, giving out fertilizers to farmers, calling giving out farmers, because he also made mention of farmer funds that they are bringing out new funds, they are giving people to benefit from funds that there is no interest and no collateral, but as a farmer you just have to prove your stay as a farmer and then they will give you. So all those things I'm not against it, but what I need is that yes, even if we get it, but we cannot go to the farm. Are we going to just get it and start doing it on our backyard? No, we have to prioritize, increase the number of our productivity. And even at that, we also need the government to give us protection, to offer protection to all these places. Because see, the way I see this thing is that these attacks that happen started from the north that are dependent solely on agriculture. We know that there are other people, but the north produces large number of agriculture, a large number of food. So imagine Benue was the slogan of Benue is the food basket. But look at how those people infiltrated Benue. Because the government believe that as long as it is a rural area, the security there will not be much. And that's why those people have access, like you rightly said, forests. Benue is just like the forest of Nigeria. And then it was not protected. The people infiltrated. And from Benue, they started going Nasarawa, Plateau, going to other states. And now look at it, Sokoto here that we've been hearing, but now it has arrived. You cannot travel out of Sokoto at a particular time. Zamfara, Sokoto to Zamfara. Look at Zamfara now. Look at the threat it has been posing. Look at how overpopulation is happening in a particular place that it's not supposed to be so. So the government really need to provide security.
So my question is this: it's all about the corruption. When you look at what is happening now, even though if you are a minister of maybe empowerment and they ask you to NIN, the question is this money getting to the right person? Because I saw a post that someone said a flood happened in I think Nigeria, right? So when the flood happened, the government gave them 1 million naira, and in fact, almost all the people that got the money, it's not even affected people. So the question is, even government bringing initiative, is it reaching to the right person? So question 3.
Okay. Is it reaching the right
The right
person?
person.
We recently went for a data collection to know how a natural disaster affected some certain communities in Sokoto. And most of the people you ask, have you ever received any initiative from government or non? The one that always stood out for them is non-governmental organization. Because they believe that non-governmental organizations send out initiative more than the government itself. And most of them said, even if it comes, it never reaches them. They broke it down to like, okay, if it was said to bring 1 million to this particular household, it was sent from the governor, right? From the governor, it will come, and that's all.
Chicken.
And that's all, and they know. Or whereby they will now get a lesser thing and buy and then share for you to one packet of Maggi. That's all. Instead of a 1 million naira each.
So the question now is, all this initiative government is saying, it's just a joke.
It's just hearsay. It's just signature sign. You will see them signing. They have approved this. They have approved this. Do this link. Write your name here. Drop your NIN here. Lots of them have gathered papers that they've received from government initiatives, but yet it does not reach to them. And there's nobody who will tell. There's nobody they can go out and say
Yeah,
this
to
to.
report.
To report.
How do we know it's studying?
The question is because I carried out a data on farming, I think last year, 2024. So the data is around the working on the budget of agriculture. How do people get support? In fact, I interviewed more than 100 farmers, but none of them see that I get intervention. So now government is there planning, bringing a lot of bunch of money outside, but does not reach. So this question is this: where are we going to? So government is planning their own, bringing a lot of initiative to people that does not even know aware of it. And then, as you rightly said, no people to report to, because you just get your data and go. Sometimes even when they ask, oh, hey Jennifer, do you know one of 5 of your friends? You give me their account number or their details. So when you give me, okay, you receive 50,000 or you pay 40,000. So this is how you see, we realize that some people are living with poverty, and some people are living from poverty. So these are people that are these are people that are poor and government is supporting. But this, so some rich people also depend on this poor. When government paying money, they just do. So that is the first. The corruption is now a very big problem. So the question is, insecurity coming, corruption coming, food inflation coming. Which one can we solve first, and which one is what is the way out? Because you can't tackle all the three at the same time. So you have to tackle one by one. As the case I say, someone they doesn't even know about the government. They don't know about the government. They are just living their life for this. The question is, which one can we tackle first?
Okay, sir.
And then you explain to us one by one.
So for me, I feel like inflation is the top priority. Why? Because you cannot wait for hunger till tomorrow. You cannot say no next month. You cannot plan and say no, I'm not going to eat till next month. No. You have to do it now. So there needs to be regulation on how people add money, how the market. We need to have a system that works for us. Different data have been taken, different studies have been taken to understand. Can the government say they don't understand our market system? Can they see that there is no way to bring out a template that will work in the way people increase and reduce food prices of almost everything in the country? No, they can't do it. They should invest in it so that the inflation will reduce. And then as it is reducing, then we'll have the aspect of what? Insecurity. As we are tackling the food, as we are tackling the prices, we are also tackling the issue of insecurity. Because we cannot go and say we are starting from insecurity, starting from adding more security to the farmlands and sending most of the IDP people, equipping them to go to the farm and then giving them protection. Because how long will it take? Would I stay hungry till they farm? till they harvest and then bring it. No. So we have to tackle the issue of inflation first. Then we move to insecurity where we go secure our lands, secure our agriculture. Then corruption normally is there already. In fact, even the fact that you are saying something that the government releases money, how certain are we that the government will release money? Most times we hear that the government is going to pay so. How sure are we that the administration, they say they are releasing 1 million naira and it's the exact 1 million naira they release? Because the person that received that money will not come out and tell you, the government said they are releasing 1 million naira, and so far it's just 250,000 they gave. They will not come out and say, because them too, since the government say they are removing this out of the budget, out of the state's money, then too, they will not remove their own percentage and say, okay, so you too, this is your 1 million naira, meanwhile it's 150,000 naira.
So now, to talk about we should tackle the inflation first.
Yes.
Tackle the inflation, it has to do with enforcement.
Yes.
And enforcement have to do with insecurity.
Okay.
Because of now, we are a population of 2 million above, 200 million above. And our security, according to some of the codes, is less than 1 million. So when we say our armed force is less than 1 million and a population of 200 million, the question is, how can we tackle the inflation? How can we make enforcement? Because you need to have information of how much this guy is selling the price.
Yeah.
Compared to government regulation. How much this shop is selling the price compared to government population. Because I also need to have the society to enforce the society of maybe society of a trader, society of this, for them to be. So how can you tackle how can you enforce this when the security personnel is less than 1 million? In what of 1 million?
Okay. So thank you very much, sir, for that question. So we see that even in the aspect of armed forces, right? People that poses threats that we need our armed forces to defend us. Even at that, there are vigilantes that actually assist also in keeping security, in keeping the security of a particular place. So this thing is not basically saying that you have to go and bring the armed forces to enforce this. But if it is said, there will be civilians can do this. There will be an organization in each and every state, in each and every. Okay, why is it that there are people that collect tax levy in the market? They do it religiously and diligently. If there are people that are being paid now by the government to regulate this thing, as long as they are being paid, they will regulate it. They will do it. Even if we are not saying that they will have to do it 100%, at least, if this one and this one are reducing, we see that immediately there's one person that the price dropped with 15 naira, and everybody knows that your shop, your things are dropping with 15 because that's the normal standard. Everybody will go there. Is that not how fuel prices in filling station we see? If any filling station that have good pump and also less, like in fact, even if it's 15 naira, they'd reduce, people will line up there. And their things good will finish, and they'll bring more. So this thing is because the governments themselves have not bring out, like make it publicly that okay, we are going to regulate this thing. We are working to regulate this. They are, even if they are let's say there are people that are assigned this thing, they are not coming out. They need to be campaign. They need to sensitize people that yes, there will be this, there will be that. Because one thing about the government is that they lack sensitization to the public. If you are saying you are going to do this, for instance, you are going to initiate this program, you have to make sure that the news reaches the people that don't go out, reaches the people back at home. So they need to invest in sensitization so that everybody, it's is it not the same thing that they are doing when it comes to during election?
Yeah.
You are in your house, somebody will come and meet you. But why is it that when they want to do something that is to help, that's to tell you that that thing it's not 100% true, that they are not being transparent. That's to tell you they are not being transparent. Because if they are being they will bring it down to you at home and meet you and say, the government are planning on this and this and this. That's the same thing. Even government initiative is people that know somebody that used to know.
Yeah.
They are doing because it's the government will say they've made it public, but it's not public enough.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I think it's not public enough because when government publish something on daily trust, they believe that everybody just. But now, I mean, who is creating TV? I mean, some people don't even have a TV in their house. People don't have time to listen to TV. And if the government wants to enforce this, you said people they are collecting tax daily in the market, and this is enforcement, and you must pay the
And
tax.
you must pay.
When you go to Lagos, the same thing you must pay.
No matter how
Everywhere.
big.
Sometimes you can even put a small and say, for you to pass this small, you have to pay 100 naira. And you must pay. So now, if government want to regulate this and say, oh, this amount you should sell it, and government is ready for this, definitely it's going to work. I believe that. So the next question is, so I found a very I get a very genuine reason for that. Government, if government is want to initiate that, people are going to follow. The second one is about the protection of people in the farm. We have seen now the security, the armed forces are less than 1 million. They want to protect the people that are, even if you look at 1 million to 200 million, which means every one armed force will be taking 20 million people. Right?
No.
Right?
200,000.
It's 200,000, right? So 10 million is 200,000. So is it possible for one armed force to take 200,000? And you know that this armed force, some are with politicians, some are with government, some are with people, some are in office, some are big man. They are just there for armed force. The question is, how can government protect the village with this less number of armed force?
Okay. As you rightly said, if the government wants to do something, they will do it. And I believe so. So yeah, it's not like it's the way you said 200 million versus 10 million.
1 million.
1 million, sorry. So the thing is that it's not that okay, every one of us is going into agriculture. It's not every one of us that will do. So it's not the whole 200 that, and even if we said like the 20% of our population or less, in fact it's even less, it's more or less now, 20% of the population that are into agriculture, and we said the government should protect it. You know, the thing is, even in the 20%, it's not everyone that goes to the farm. There are people that go to the farm, and then so the thing is not like saying, oh, you have to go and follow each and every person. No, it's for you to like be what do they call it? Patrolling the places. Yes,
You know that we have a road network. There's some farm that does not have a road.
that doesn't have road.
Yeah,
Yes.
we know that there's some farm it doesn't have a road. So even if armed force will get there, it's going
To be an issue, that's true. That's
to
true.
be very challenging.
But I feel like most major farms, right? Most major farms that people produce stuff majorly, they have trucks that do go and carry their products. So there's actually, and even not that, it should be access to security should be made easy for the farmers. What am I saying? I'm saying that if something is happening in this particular village, it should be easily traced, and the response, they should be at standby. The response should be fast. So it should get ready. They should be. That's why they are forced. They have been trained for this. So the issue now is not even about like okay, oh, go and protect the farm because now the farms now or the villages that are prone to all these people, they are already taken by the bandits and the kidnapper themselves. So the thing about even saying you go to the farm, go to which farm so that they go and kidnap me. So we have to tackle the issue of kidnapping and banditry first before even talking about okay going sending people back to the farm and providing security for them.
Yeah, but the problem we have now, maybe, I don't know, maybe government should initiate every farmer should be security.
Then
Because the problem that we have now is you can see a bandit wearing soldier uniform.
that's true.
You can see a bandit wear police uniform and carry gun. To differentiate between this farmer and the real security is going to be issue. So how can government tackle that?
We are not expecting the fact that the what's it called those of insurgencies group that they do camouflage as security men, but there are point channels of communication. There are channels of communication between security and forces that you as a civilian you cannot intercept. Yeah, because one of my friend was telling me of how they were going to ISA to take initiative, medical outreach. Was it ISA or Shagari? And immediately their car was their radar turned on that everybody in that clinic should leave what he or she is doing. Mind you, it's a remote place. Mind you, there are no basically internet network in that area, but they send it via the vehicle because they are tracking it and said, okay, you people should leave this place. Immediately, you don't follow the road, follow this turn. They turn, stopped here and wait for further instruction. They waited like after 20 minutes, say, okay, you can reroute back. So they reroute back and then back to Sokoto. This to tell you that these are what non-governmental organization. These are people that invest in the security of their personnel. So you are telling me that the government cannot do and the government has much more gadgets to be used than this. Much more gadgets. So you see, and immediately they left, they received the news from somebody that the bandits came and attacked that particular clinic in the next 30 minutes. So you see, the people there that was surveilling already scanned and saw them coming, and they asked their personnel to leave.
So which means government know.
But governments can know.
Can know. Okay, let me just say government. Government can know when this attack will take place. So the only thing that should call is that how readiness government are there to tackle it. If someone, not government organization, can say, oh, this is going to happen, and it happened within 30 minutes.
They make sure their personnel are left.
And left. So which means government can also track all this. Maybe in some countries we have a private security that also carry on. Like when you look at US, you have a US Army, you have a private army. When you look at even in US, everybody have their own security. They have their state security, they have their national security, they have their everything. So when you look at Nigeria, we only depend on national security.
That's true. We don't have states.
Even command have to come from the headquarters before everything can be tackled. Maybe how did you see if you can have different level of security that whether the private security that the NGO can invest to see that the CCTV and also have maybe the state security and also tackle the acting at the state level. So maybe before the people from the headquarters they get them from out there. So how did you see that?
That's a very good initiative if the governments are willing to pay the price, if they are willing to spend money. Because as we've rightly established, that even the state of insecurity, most politicians are benefiting from it. So they will not even allow it to end. To end. Because they are benefiting from it. They are also benefiting. In fact, not only them, even foreign organizations are also benefiting from insecurity. Because now everybody will want to go and buy gun. Everybody will go. Where will you see the gun? It's not there. And it's the nation that will go to the country that are pumping money for insecurity to buy gun and bring so that they will fight. So that's, and also we need, as you rightly said, we need levels of security. Don't let them not totally depend on the exactly. They don't totally depend. So at every level, like now, even in school, there should be school security. But if something happens here or happen in one department now, how many security will how would they respond? Are they really active? Are they you see my sister was in school the other day, so she was going back. Somebody came and bubbled her and took her phone. And she has to give the person. Meanwhile, you are in town, inside school. And it's not even like it's a remote place. It's not. It's not even like there are no more people. But why? Because there was no security at hand. There was no somebody to shout and call that
These things happening.
exactly. So we need levels of security. Level. The government really needs to like invest because it's also money. We are not disputing the fact that governments are not doing stuff because you will see somebody, they will come and take you from your home and then okay, let's assume someone invests in insecurity and that insecurity leads to 10 people to leave their home.